What's up, guys? So today I'm going to teach you how to create a general inventory to store all your items. And in this episode, we're going to creating the data structures required to handle all the inventory data. So let's begin. The first thing we need is to create a new folder here called inventory. Open it up. Here we're going to create another folder called data. And over here, the first thing we're going to create is enumeration to keep track of the categories of our items. So here, go to blueprints, enumeration, and call it inventory types, for example. Open it up, and here we're going to add a new one, which will be like cloth. We can have gadgets, we can have collectible, a consumable, we could have a primary, a melee weapon, primary weapon, secondary weapon, and specialized weapon, or throwable, or this is just for you to be able to read this later and know basically which type of item do you have and do different logic based on that. So we can close this. And over here, the next thing we're going to create is the structure that will hold the properties of our item. So go to blueprints, structure, and call it st inventory item. Okay, open it up. And the first property will be the ID. So this will be a name, the identifier of our item. The second property will be the type that we just created. So we can search for inventory, and there it is, inventory types. The next property will be something like the display name, so that we can show that on the UI and stuff. This will be a text because text can be translated and names are only for search and identification. Okay. Now the next one could be a short description for our item, and we could also have like a large description. Now we can have the quantity, which will be integer. We could also have a thumbnail. This one will be a 2D texture. This one, texture 2D, and it will be a soft object reference. This way, when we select it on a data table, the data table will not load this image, okay? So now we could also have a large image over here, large image, if you want to show this somewhere else. It will also be a texture to the soft object reference. And now we could have the properties for our pickups. So for example, the pickup mesh, which will be in this case a skeletal mesh, and this will be a soft object reference. Okay, and we could also have like a static mesh, so a pickup mesh static. If you want to use a static mesh instead, we can just search for static over here and a soft object reference. Now, the last thing we're going to add over here is another structure which will hold the properties when the item is attached to the hand. So to do that, we're going to go to the content drawer over here, and we're going to create another structure. So blueprints, structure, and call it st inventory holdable, like this. Open it up. And the first thing we're going to have here is the actor blueprint. So the actor that is going to be spawned when we attach the item to the hand, okay? And this will be an actor, and this will be a soft class reference, okay? That's it. now we could also have the socket, which will be name. So this is the socket where we are going to attach our item, okay? And we can also have a transform so that we can adjust the position of the item directly on our data tables. So here we can select the transform, and that's basically it. And now we could also have the overlay states for the people that have been following the previous tutorials. We can just add an overlay property over here, and we can select the overlay states that we created in the previous videos. Okay, this way we can select the overlay that will be used when the item is attached to the hand. So that's basically it. We can close this one. And now on the inventory item, we're going to add another variable, which will be the holdable settings. Okay, and over here we're going to select st inventory holdable, this one. So that's basically it. If we want to see how this is going to be displayed, we can go to default values, and you can see that we have the ID, the types that we can select. So this is how this is going to be displayed on the data tables. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to make sure that all the items created on the data table will start with the type as a collectible. Okay, so every time I create a new item on the data table, it will start as collectible. And another thing I'm going to do is on the sockets, I'm going to change it to hand R, which is already the hand bone. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't need to be creating that every single time. And on the quantity, I can set it to 1. Okay, so this way every item created on the data table will start with these default values. So we can close this one. And now we can go back to the inventory over here, and we can create the data table to store our items. So over here, we're going to go to miscellaneous data table, and we're going to select the st inventory item, this one. Click OK, and we can call this dt inventory, like this. Open it up, and here it's empty, so we can create our items. So I'm just going to create an example item over here, which will be the cube. Okay, so the row name must be exactly the same as the ID. So we're going to set this as cube as well. As you can see, it is already a collectible, so we're going to leave that as it is. The display name is going to be cube. The quantity is correct. I don't have a thumbnail. Now the pickup mesh, I'm going to select the cube that already exists on the engine. If you go to show engine content over here, you should be able to find it, because there is a skeletal mesh cube that is a little bit smaller than the default cube. I like to use this one. Now, on the holdable settings, we're not going to do anything because we don't have an actor to attach to the hand, so we can't select anything over here. Okay. If you have been following the tutorials from the previous videos, you can also add the pistol and the rifle to the project, like this. The pistol, and here it will be pistol. We can set this to primary weapon. The display name will be pistol, and basically the pickup mesh will be the pistol. And now on the holdable settings, we can actually select the BP pistol that we created before, this one. And this way the item will be attached to the hand and will spawn this blueprint to have all the functionality that you need. Now the overlay state, I'm going to set it to pistol, and that's basically it. Now I can also duplicate this item and call it rifle. So this one I can change to rifle it's going to be a secondary weapon. The display name will be rifle, and the skeletal mesh will be the M4A1. Okay, so now the actor blueprints, we can also select the BP rifle, and on the overlay we can select the rifle overlay state. And that's basically it. So this is all for this episode. In the next episodes we're going to create the rest of the inventory. I hope you liked it, I hope you learned something with it, and don't forget to subscribe.